an original TV Land presentation. On this episode of TV Land Confidential.
Far out.
Groovy. Out of sight.
How do producers of your favorite TV shows keep up with changing times?
The producers of Married with Children created the Grandmaster B character.
What happened when the British invasion hit TV?
Well, why just Davy Jones? How about the Beatles?
Who might have been the youngest sitcom writer ever?
As a class project, they wrote a script for Bewitched.
Why was there a government lockdown on different strokes?
We get Secret Service everywhere.
We've got the answers.
She makes Archie Bunker sound like a liberal.
You silly dingbat!
And the untold stories.
It's confidential.
What's your name? Theodore, but my friends call me Beaver.
All right, Lucy, let's have it.
Gee whiz, you think I never heard about kissing before.
The early days of TV offered an escape from reality with just a flick of the dial. It was a world where the jokes were clean.
Wow! Where'd you get that?
The hardware store.
The table was always set.
Good morning, Minerva.
And the horses could talk.
You can ride on a big dog for all I care.
I did get tired of always saying, Wilbur, lunch is ready, or Wilbur, getting lunch to get me out of the barn. Anything else I can get you, dear?
It's a very hard thing for an actress to just put up with dinner's ready.
So I asked the writers, isn't there something else I can say? And they said, we'll think about it.
Oh, darling, you're the most wonderful husband in the world.
And he turns around and he says, yeah, go get lunch. I could have killed him.
In the early 60s, the networks were still playing it safe.
At that time, you'd be hard-pressed to find dramatic shows on television. I'm not talking about doctor shows or cop shows. I'm talking about shows that dealt with social issues and human relationships.
As the 60s progressed, society was changing, and producers reacted with stories that dealt with real-world issues.
I was just wishing and wishing that Lisa and me could be really, really sisters. And look what happened.
One of my favorite episodes, and actually it was Elizabeth Montgomery's favorite episode, was called Sisters at Heart, and it was written by a class of school children. As a class project, they wrote a script for Bewitched, never thinking that it would turn into an episode.
She said that Lisa and me weren't the same color, so we couldn't be sisters.
My character and a little black girl wanted to be sisters. I wished so hard that I got brown polka dots and she got white polka dots.
But that girl in the park said that Lisa and me can't be sisters because I'm white and she's black.
And the class that wrote it actually came to the set and was there when we were filming.
Wow, even your own mother wouldn't recognize you.
It was wonderful.
All men are brothers, even if they're girls.
To avoid controversy, producers wanting to deal with contemporary issues would sometimes set their stories in the realm of science fiction or in the distant past.
Little House on the Prairie was so damn relevant, it was freaky.
Well, I just hate to think that my husband can, at any time, just take something that's mine.
There was a whole episode where the men and women fought about the ERA.
You know this store belongs to me, Nels. But if you want to take it away from me, you just go right ahead.
In Walnut Grove, a woman comes to town and starts talking about how in different states, women's property rights varied widely.
I have a petition here. Before I leave town, I hope every man in Walnut Grove will sign.
So yeah, we had, should women have property rights?
Oh, the petition. She'd never heard of that petition.
I'm pleased to say both Mr. Olson and Percival did sign the Women's Rights Amendment.
One for all. All for one. I gotta go home now. I gotta do my laundry.
Some themes are never dated.
To the successful launch of Project Brady Bunch.
Producer Sherwood Schwartz launched 2 hit shows based on the premise that people from different backgrounds could learn to get along.
The Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island, they don't seem to be like each other at all, but they're the same show.
The nature of the characters are different, but the idea is the same.
Gilligan's Island is really a very serious subject. How do 7 disparate people learn to live together? When I did the Brady Bunch, there's 2 different families, so I put them together.
They're getting along just great.
Schwartz had a vision for another series that took the premise one step further.
What an assortment. Yeah, the Kelly Rainbow.
I did a backdoor pilot called Kelly's Kids, and it was about a childless couple who adopt 3 kids. A white kid, a black kid, and an Asian kid.
Kelly's adopting us too! We're gonna be murdered!
Schwartz had his vision of the show, the network had another.
ABC insisted that I partner with another guy. Well, the guy that they put me with thought it would be even more complicated and more interesting if they had one kid of their own.
Dad wasn't in charge and it didn't happen the way he wanted it to.
I want the audience to start at 0 and build on 3 kids that they adopt. And so we parted company. It became a show with Elliot Gould. Together We Stand was the name of that show when it came on the air.
Mind you, I'm not a bigot. Why, Mr. Payne and I even managed to be cordial to the Shapiros on the next block.
The Kelly's Kids episode aired just as another show was beginning to shine a light on racial intolerance.
She makes Archie Bunker sound like a liberal.
If the woman ain't got no experience, then she ought to stick to unskilled labor, like being a wife.
I just know it.
Get out of here!
Well, what was the question?
St. Christian's, I ask everybody, are you employed? Are you an ex-con? Are you a white man? That's all.
The appearance of producer Norman Lear's Archie Bunker in 1971 signaled a marked change in how television dealt with events of the day.
I know where my inflation comes from the gas that you give me.
Television writers like the legendary team of Bob Schiller and Bob Weisskopf, who'd cut their teeth on lighthearted Lucy episodes, were now dealing with more serious issues.
I don't want to hurt you, but you see this?
It was precedent setting, and we were aware of the fact that we were doing something that was unique.
Come into the house and he tried to... You mug.
He tried to rape her?
It was an amazing show. They said we couldn't do it.
Still scared.
Oh, please don't be scared no more. Learn to knock, learn to knock, learn to knock.
They did it. There were some objections, but mostly compliments.
The way Norman Lear approached everything was with great good humor and goodwill.
Lear continued to break those barriers with Maude.
Vivian, you leave me alone at a time like this and I will rip your heart out.
We did an abortion script.
I'm pregnant.
She found out she was pregnant. I go over to see her, and of course Vivian breaks up into laughter, and then she realizes she means it.
I don't believe it.
And it's taken very seriously.
Part of me really wants to have the baby.
Prior to that, no one had ever even discussed abortion on television.
Part of me...
The abortion show was not to say, this is the thing to do.
At age 47, I got pregnant.
It was to say, this is a problem some women have, and we're examining what to do.
There was no precedent for it.
A lot of stations did not carry the show.
They've been so slow to pick it up and show it in syndication.
Vivian, the pain takes my mind off.
Off what?
Wouldn't you like to know?
It was 17 years before they started showing it.
Oh, no!
It was so well written. You know who wrote it? Susan Harris, who did Golden Girls. Susan was a young writer on Maude.
I live in a house where an uncle is about to inherit his nephew's potty seat.
Oh, it was so funny, and it was so heartbreaking, and it was so real. It was lovely.
Coming up next, what happens when a sitcom receives a presidential request?
You had badges going in, and I was like, you felt like you were in Star Wars.
When TV Land Confidential returns.
Something big is coming to TV Land.
What's happening?
Yes, TV Land welcomes
What's happening?
with a
What's happening?
marathon. 48 hours featuring the very best episodes of
What's happening?
and bonus episodes of
What's happening?
Now. So if you like,
What's happening?
then you'll get nothing but
Charlie's Angels.
what? No, it's
What's happening?
all this weekend starting Saturday at 6 a.m. only on TV Land.
Do you need cash right now? We offer homeowners a chance to refinance to a new low fixed rate mortgage that will pay off current debts and lower monthly payments by hundreds of dollars. Log on to ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED.
Are you getting enough fiber in your diet? To get the 25 to 30 grams of daily fiber you need for ongoing good health, what else would you have time for? That's why there's Fiber Choice, the chewable fiber supplement. Each bottle contains 180 grams of fiber. You'd need more than 3 bottles of fiber caplets at 3 times the price to get the same amount. Fiber Choice, now in assorted fruit chewable tablets and hard candy drops. Wait,
I can get the fiber I need from a piece of candy?
That's right. Fiber Choice now comes in great tasting low sugar hard candy drops. To get your free trial pack, including 4 delicious Fiber Choice drops and a money-saving coupon, just visit fiberchoicecandydrops.com today. Still with up to 4 times the fiber found in fiber pills and the sweet taste of candy.
Since they're individually wrapped, I can take them wherever I go.
Visit fiberchoicecandydrops.com for your free trial pack. Fiber Choice, the smart choice.
You won't believe this is fiber.
Open wide. Wider. Please. Don't make me call your daddy.
Triaminic thin strips. Easy to give. Triaminic, the medicine of motherhood.
You're a changed man.
How's that?
You got off that train back there, you did 2 things you never done before. At least not at the same time. You shook my hand, and then you looked me square in the eye. Where'd that come from?
Fitness Made Simple is reshaping bodies and changing lives with our best-selling videos, hosted by fitness celebrity John Bastow.
Fitness Made Simple works. It worked for me, it's working for thousands of men and women nationwide, and it can work for you too.
It's fitness made simple. Made for real people. It's fitness made simple. It's changing real lives.
From teenagers to grandparents, everyone's getting in shape with Fitness Made Simple.
I totally
With Fitness Made Simple, I lost 22 pounds.
And I lost 40 pounds and lowered my blood pressure, thanks to John's programs.
I was ecstatic. It's hard to even put all of that into words, but it really has changed my life.
Fitness Made Simple works! Order today and get our Fitness Made Simple Changing Lives 2 video special.
Be your best with Fitness Made Simple.
311-6380 today.
TV Land Game Time is looking for audience members and contestants. So if you want to heave the beaver, challenge the big ragu, or just watch in astonishment, call 1-877-GAME-TVL or go to tvland.com. And be sure to catch Game Time Monday nights at 9.
And I want to watch an all-black show for a change.
Oh, where you gonna find one?
Here's one. The Los Angeles Lakers against the Milwaukee Bucks.
During the 1960s, television families all had one thing in common.
The entire membership is white.
That all changed in 1968, when producer Hal Cantor debuted his groundbreaking show, Julia, on NBC.
That network had the guts to put a black person, a black woman, on the air as the star of a show.
I think Hal Cantor was brilliant in that.
Mama!
He felt that if he created a family with all of the problems that related to most families, that it would not be necessary to draw this racial line.
There were stations in the South that refused to put it on the air. And it was such a big hit that they were forced by their viewers to put the show on the air.
For me, it was more about a show of a single mom and this little boy trying to find a father.
I want you to get me a daddy.
Julia being an educated woman and having found a way to support her son, have her personal life, dress well, speak well.
I have had 4 years' experience in surgery, emergency, and psychiatric cases. And I am dedicated to my profession and skilled in it.
In the 60s, that was very, very important.
You guys just concentrate on your education. I'll take care of this family.
In 1974, producer Norman Lear continued in Hal Cantor's footsteps with Good Times, starring Esther Roll, who had her own ideas about family.
Well, if you're gonna strut around like a peacock, you gotta expect some of your feathers to get stomped on.
Esther insisted on when the show was being developed that she have a husband because she was quite frankly tired of these matriarchal sitcoms.
And she fought for that. She made sure that the husband had his position.
Oh, relax, baby. We make it the same way we always have. Somehow.
She made sure that she was the wife thing, that wasn't too submissive, that spoke up.
I try to raise a good Christian family, and here it is, my oldest son has the morals of a Philistine.
We were always struggling, but we were going to make it. We were showing America that, you know, don't give up hope. Keep on trying. We might get there one day.
Though less realistic in flavor than some of Norman Lear's other comedies, Good Times, nevertheless, did address issues confronting urban families in the mid-70s.
The very first appearance I had as an actress was really Good Times. I got to meet Jimmy Walker, and he was so exciting and popular. He was always trying to kiss me. I'm like, boy, child, give it a rest.
You're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
I know. I played JJ's junkie fiancé.
I took some aspirins. They really do a job.
They cast me because they wanted someone that didn't have stereotypical look for somebody that's a junkie.
That is not funny. That was dumb. That was really dumb.
It just kind of washed away a lot of myths, which needed to be washed away about where this problem lies.
I don't feel good. I don't feel.
I knew brides get nervous, but am I that much?
I just think Norman was brilliant in bringing that to the forefront that way.
I'm sorry, Woody. I guess you hadn't heard. No, Coach passed away a couple months ago.
Well, we never met. We were kind of like pen pals.
When sitcoms deal with serious issues, it's no laughing matter.
I started with television, and there was laugh tracks everywhere, and they're a little bit unsophisticated.
I was in the booth right next to you.
Many people are against laugh tracks.
In the 1960s, pre-recorded canned laughter was a staple of shows that were not shot in front of a studio audience.
Aren't you going to give him some subscription?
Prescription. I figured that one out, too.
By the end of the decade, shows like Room 222 began resisting such artificial comedy
The
sweeteners.
producers did not want a laugh track, but ABC definitely wanted a laugh track. The network was constantly pushing for more comedy, and I think they were wanting to to tackle substantial issues in the framework of comedy.
From the classroom to the jungle, MASH was another show that took up the battle of the laugh track.
I didn't want to be part of any series that would trivialize what was going on in Vietnam. It was CBS's bat and ball and stadium, so, you know, you didn't win any fights. But that didn't stop me from fighting endlessly about the ridiculous notion that there were some people laughing at this situation.
Eventually, a compromise was reached.
They agreed not to insist upon a laugh track in the OR, in the operating room. So I went in there as many times as I could. In fact, one show we did the entire half hour in the OR.
People accepted the absurdity of that. If you're going to save lives, you could do something wildly absurd, and people will accept that.
When mixing laughter with politics, strange things can happen.
You know, you look a little like Tip O'Neill.
Politicians like to earn points by showing up on sitcoms. But sometimes they try to make a point. When First Lady Nancy Reagan wanted to get her message out, she requested an appearance on Different Strokes.
All drugs are dumb.
Yeah, Nancy Reagan, that was one of the best slogans that never really worked in this country. Just say no. It was crazy when she came on the show. It was the most insane thing that we ever had to deal with in our entire life. We had Secret Service everywhere. We had badges going in, and I was like, and you're walking by the trunk and see surface-to-air missiles in there, and you're like, oh my gosh.
It's for you, Mrs. Reagan. It's the White House.
Nancy Reagan said a joke on the show.
Love you.
No one laughed. I mean, everyone laughed. They were in the audience, they were all Secret Service.
Now, if I can say it in front of strangers, you can say it in front of Tip O'Neill.
Coming up next, how did rock and roll rock TV land?
How about the Beatles, the Fifth Dimension, and the Carpenters, too?
When TV Land Confidential returns.
A real thief ran around the corner, shoplifter, onto the set.
Want to hear more from the stars on TV Land Confidential? Log on to tvland.com for extended interviews plus bonus footage and a sneak peek at the next episode of TV Land Confidential. Go to tvland.com for TV Land Confidential extras now.
Why do we love going out to eat? Being together with friends? Our favorite dishes? Yes. Introducing new Corner Bistro from Stouffer's. Restaurant-inspired entrees you can now enjoy at home. Try our full menu of new Corner Bistro entrees and see what's cooking at Stouffer's.
My boss was a jerk. His boss was an even bigger jerk. Turns out I was working for a company of jerks. So I started my own consulting firm.
Couldn't ask for a better boss.
With Assurant Health, you don't have to be part of a group to get health insurance. We've been covering independent spirits for more than 110 years.
Being a musician means not always getting a steady paycheck. Sometimes you have to fill in the gaps. Health benefits? I don't think so.
Call Assurant Health now at 1-800-854-1315, and we'll work with you to find a plan that suits your lifestyle.
I was a victim of downsizing. Me, the family. But if it hadn't happened, I would never have opened up the store.
If you need health insurance, call Assurant Health at 1-800-854-1315 and see how beautifully our plans can work with yours.
Buying a used car is like rolling the dice. You'll never roll craps when you purchase a used car at Rizzo Ford. The Rizzo Ford family has the largest selection of late model fashion automobiles, or something reliable for mom and dad to drive to church in. Whatever used car you choose, it'll be money well invested. The Rizzo Ford family inspects and upgrades all trade-ins so you can rely on your used car. Come view our selection today at 1703 Mineral Spring Avenue on the corner of Douglas and Mineral Spring. Call 1-866-GO-RIZZO for more information.
Now you've got more ways to win at Newport Grand, your destination for over 1,000 video slots. Play your favorite penny, nickel, quarter, and dollar slots, and it might be your lucky day to win a bonus round. Just make the right choice, and you could win big bucks. Why not have some fun today and try your hand at Lady Luck? The excitement is here every day at Newport Grand.
Where it pays to play.
7. Call now.
Oh boy, here he comes.
New episodes of Nick at Night's Fatherhood are here.
That's good. I could use a few laughs.
And everyone's talking about it.
Really?
That's great.
What do you think, Mr. Bummy?
So whether you're already a Bindlebeat fan
Holla.
or have yet to discover Nick at Night's first original animated series, get ready for brand new episodes of Fatherhood.
All right, let's synchronize our watches.
Tuesdays at 9:30.
It's a very important date.
Only on Nick at Night.
Let's not watch television tonight.
Not watch television? What else is there to do? I love The Honeymooners and Mary Tyler Moore and Taxi and The Odd Couple. What did these shows have in common? Classic in terms of themes. On Everybody Loves Raymond, we did not put anything topical in the show. I wanted the show to have lasting value.
We never wanted to do current topics.
You've been fighting. No, I just got beat up.
As soon as you introduce current topics into it, you date yourself.
My Three Sons, which was sort of the quintessential innocence of the 50s, and they tried to maintain that the whole time, and without giving it a definitive period look. I think we lost touch slightly.
Beatlemania changed everything.
The Beatles kicked in, and I'm going, but we should have, like, music. And I want to grow my hair long, and I want to wear bell-bottom pants.
With the British invasion in full swing, even shows like Dick Van Dyke got hip to the rock and roll beat.
When Chad and Jeremy came on, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
I'm sorry, those are no more.
Here I'm a young kid. I'm like, you know, I got my own brothers. I'm listening to rock and roll music when I'm growing up, and I'm listening to Beatles, and here comes Chad and Jeremy. I'm like, whoa, this is great.
There's more, but we're saving our strength.
From the Monkees to the Partridge Family, music was popping up all over the dial.
Where did they get those costumes?
Even all the way to an uncharted isle.
I remember in one episode, the mosquitoes came on the island, which was a satire of the Beatles.
What does the phrase #1 record mean to you?
After a while, it seemed like everybody wanted to be a rock star.
Davy Jones? How about the Beatles, the Fifth Dimension, and the Carpenters, too?
I give you Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart.
Man, that cat is deep.
Lunacy. Sheer lunacy. Those little monsters are crawling all over the building.
Do your thing, girls.
When rock and roll gave way to hip-hop, TV sitcoms picked up the mic.
I started doing hip-hop nightclubs and met with a group of guys and started rapping with them, and, you know, never was a great rapper by any means. I had fun doing it.
He came from the streets where everyone's meat. Guns in the night put you under a sheet.
The producers of Married with Children, they took that and, you know, created the Grandmaster B character. which was basically poking fun at me.
What did I tell you to? I am Grandmaster B.
People love that character too. I mean, when I walk down the streets, you hear people, you know, Grandmaster B.
Listen to the sirens, thinking they're for me. It's a lonely life for Grandmaster B. Yes, a lonely life for Grandmaster B.
As Faustino was learning to be a rapper, one rapper was learning to be an actor.
I directed the pilot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, Will Smith was so amazingly charming and adorable.
Will Smith was so comfortable in his own skin. First 3 years of Fresh Prince, I understand that the cast also helped him work out some kinks. By the time I had gotten to the show, he had gotten over mouthing the words along with the other actors.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air could only have taken place in the early 90s. And then there was a show that could only have been done in the 1960s. Capitalizing on the public's fascination with the space race, producers made NASA an integral part of the I Dream of Jeannie storyline.
I must have gone further into orbit than I thought.
We had a lot of interplay with NASA.
Now that I'm here, I'm thinking how wonderful it would be to be alone with you on the moon.
We went to Houston and filmed there, and we went to Cape Canaveral. That's where they were training.
Up you go!
One of the astronauts put me in the capsule, and he said, "Okay, Barbara, you're going to land on the moon." Well, he didn't tell me what to do, though.
I want you to press the green button.
I just crashed, is what I did. It was exciting. I crashed on the moon.
I Dream of Jeannie was very much of its time. Happy Days sought to recreate an earlier time.
They were very, very tight to the period in the beginning. The cars, the clothes, the hair.
But doing a show about the 50s and the early 70s meant a major makeover for Henry Winkler.
I met him with the exec producer, and he said, "What can we do?" His hair was long, and I said, "Well, we'll cut his hair off first."
Short hair is neater. Here's $1. Get a crew cut. Hey!
I took him down, cut his hair, then just devised the style that he had, gelling it up, you know, putting a lot of stuff on it, and just combing it in the style of the boys in the 1950s.
But not everyone wanted to tool around in the 70s looking like a refugee from the 50s.
When Scott Baio came in, his hair was, you know, quite long. Ants and I had to tie him down to cut his hair.
Guess it wasn't meant to be.
Whether you're rocking and rolling or just shaking things up, in the world of television, everyone's got a story. The insights and anecdotes and untold stories are limitless. Some preposterous, some presidential, and until now, all of them confidential. See you next time.
You're watching TV Land Confidential. Here's an inside tip. Coming this December, TV Land's newest original series, Sit Down Comedy with David Steinberg.
You people, can you be any dumber?
Funny people not standing up. Premieres December 14th only on TV Land.